Hi, I'm Nyssa Adams. I'm a senior in the Biological Sciences Department of the Honors Tutorial College. I actually started out in HTC as a Communication Studies major my freshman year. I wanted to do health communication, so I was taking communication tutorials and science courses along with those. And I realized in spring quarter that even though my science classes were more difficult, I was so much more interested in them. So I decided to change majors, and I've loved biology ever since. The lab I'm working in is researching a cancer drug that's effective against ovarian cancer. So some of my projects, last year I worked on characterizing the efficacy of the drug. So before we could do experiments to figure out how the drug works, we had to know what's the effective dosage so we can do experiments at concentrations of the drug that are relevant. This year I'm doing some work looking into the mechanism of the drug. So I'm studying whether or not the drug influences two enzymes that are important in regulating cell death. I found it on my own. I actually had a friend who had worked in this particular lab during the previous year, and she really enjoyed it. She was graduating, so they were looking for another undergrad to take on some projects. So I went and met Dr. Bose and the people who work in his lab, and I really liked the environment. Dr. Bose is an administrator on campus, so even though he's in charge of the lab, he doesn't spend much time there. It's run by another PhD, so I actually took tutorial courses with him during the quarter, so I would meet with him and read papers relevant to the things we were working on, and then I would go back into the lab and work on my experiments. So there was a lot of crossover between tutorials and research. Definitely shown me that I am interested in research. So I'm graduating and I've applied and been accepted to MD, PhD programs. I want to do, I think, a little more than just the research we're doing in the lab. I want to do something that's more medically relevant, hence the MD, PhD, but I've definitely found that I have a passion for research through doing this. It's taught me to respect research a lot more. I think research sometimes seems very glamorous, and while it is exciting, I never really knew all of the tedious work that goes behind putting out great research. So I think I have more respect for it. And another thing is I've learned to, I think, manage my time a little better. In the lab, there's not always someone hounding you to do a particular project. You really have to motivate yourself to go forward. I actually really enjoyed presenting my research from last year in last May's Research and Creative Activity Expo. I really enjoyed presenting it to the prospective students who came around and their families, and I got first place for my presentation, so that was really exciting. HTC was really important in my first biology tutorials in exposing me to primary science literature. It's something that you've never seen before when you enter college, and it has all these complicated figures and graphs and complex language that you don't know what these people are talking about, and you really have to learn how to read it. So without my tutorials to really show me how to go through a scientific paper, how to understand the information being presented, and then go a step beyond that and be able to critique that information, without those skills, I don't think I'd be able to be as involved in research as I am now. Everyone in HTC has always been here anytime I've had a problem. I know I've been able to come to Jan throughout my 4 years here, and she's always been there to help me. And knowing that I have that support whenever I hit a roadblock, I think has helped motivate me, because I know there's no reason for me to not succeed because I have so much support. I would say if you're in the sciences, pay a lot of attention in your tutorials the first 2 years, I think you can really pick different professors who have different interests and different labs going, so you can find sort of the right lab for you to do your thesis in. I think the opportunities are out there. It's really easy to find them by doing tutorials with professors, but you can also go out and find some on your own. If you have friends who are doing research, they can let you know, hey, the lab I'm working in is really cool. You might want to try rotating here for 1 quarter.